This video is going to show you how to complete the problems on page 5 out of your math book. We're going to start with the lesson summary. I'm going to just go ahead and read that to you. Supplementary angles are two angles whose measurements sum to 180 degrees. Complementary angles are two angles whose measurements sum to 90 degrees. And once an angle relationship is identified, the relationship can be modeled with an equation that will find an unknown value. The unknown value may be used to find the measure of the unknown angle. So basically what that just said right there, they just gave you information, and we're going to use that information to help us solve problems in these problem sets, okay? So number 1 says two lines meet at a point. So here's a line, they meet at this point right here. That is also the endpoint of a ray. So this point here is also an endpoint for this ray, I guess. Set up and solve the appropriate equations to determine x and y. So in other words, let's find the value of x, let's find the value of y. So I'm kind of looking at it, and let's see, the information I'm gathering from here is, well, this angle right here is 90 degrees. But is y 90 degrees? No, because y is this entire arc right there. So y is not only the 90 degree angle, but this little bit too. We don't know that little bit. So I can't identify y yet. Okay, darn it. And then x, I don't exactly know what that is, but they give us this 55 degree angle in hopes that it will help us. And then this one right here is blank also, so then that's not given. Something that I would recommend is I would find something that has a line on it. Like, look at this. Right here. This sticky note, that's straight line. So I'm going to use that to help me solve this problem for x and y, because we have to determine x and y. So I'm going right here. I'm going to ignore that y part because I know y is not 90. But that angle right there is 90. And you see how these are angles on a line? So this angle right here plus this angle right here plus just this guy right there, that's going to equal 180 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and set up an equation that will help me find the value of x. Remember, y is not 90. Y is that entire arc, okay? So don't let that throw you off. So here we go. Let's see, x plus 55 plus 90 will have a sum of 180 degrees, okay? So from here, let's go ahead and, well, we gotta simplify it first. And to do that, we gotta combine like terms before we can build it. So 55 plus 90 is 145. So we have x plus 145, and that's gonna equal 180. So from there, we just got to build it. So I started with x. From there, we added 145 to it. Inverse operation of adding 145 is subtracting 145. So you're going to do that to both sides of that equation. Okay? So 145 subtract 145 is 0. 180 subtract 145, let's see here. That is going to be 35. So x is equal to 35. So I'm going to just substitute that right there now. Put the degrees right there. Okay. So value of x is 35. When I substitute it into this right here, it's 35 degrees. All right. Now we got to determine the value of y. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trace this to see if x is vertical to anything. See how it's straight? Here it's straight. Again, there's no little bends. And I see that, hey, this angle is vertical to this angle. So if this angle is 35 degrees, this one also has to be 35 degrees because vertical angles are congruent. So knowing that this little guy right here is 90, all I gotta go is 90 plus 35 to get this value of y. Okay? So 90 plus 35, I'll write that out over here. 90 plus 35 is going to give me the value of y. And right here, 90 plus 35 is 125. Okay, so this angle y degrees, when I substitute it in, this entire thing right here is 125 degrees. Let's go ahead and circle this stuff though. Okay, for the next problem, we're also going to determine the values of x and y. And I hope I didn't really mess you up here. I was trying to darken it in green so you could see it better. I see right here this angle it's telling us it's 90 degrees. So sorry about darkening it, I was just trying to help. But anyway, from that I gather that x degrees plus this 32-degree angle. They're complementary because they're going to add up to 90 degrees. So I'm going to set up an equation to help me figure out what x is. So x plus 32 equals 90. Okay, from there just build it so we can find that value of x. Start with x, then we added 32 to it. Inverse operation of adding 32 is to subtract 32, so that's what you're going to do to both sides of that equal sign. Okay, 32 take away 32 is 0, so we're left with x equals, well, 90 minus 32 is 58. Okay, now that I have it written right there, I have to substitute it back over here, and when I put in the 58 right there, it's 58 degrees. Okay, so knowing that value is going to help me figure out the value of y when I combine it with the relationships we already we know. Well, I see that, well, let's see, oh, this right here is 90 degrees. So I'm going to trace it and to see what's vertical to this 90 degree given angle. So trace straight, and then trace this one straight. Okay, so this is showing me that this is 90, and then this whole opening right here is 90. So this tells me that y plus 58, they're complementary angles, so they're going to have a sum of 90 degrees. See how it's vertical to each other? So this one and this one are going to have to equal 90 degrees once I add them together. So if I know this one's 58, I just got to figure out y. So I can set up an equation to help me figure this out. Y plus 58 equals 90. Okay, let's go ahead and build it. We started out with y, then we just added 58 to it. So the inverse operation of adding 58 is to subtract 58. So that's what you're going to do to both sides of that equal sign. And we're left with y is equal to 90 minus 58, which is 32. And we're going to substitute it back in right here and add the degrees to it. 32 degrees. And let's go ahead and circle our answers too, because we're answering what x and y equal.